Robert Ashton pulled the baseball cap lower over his eyes as he walked into the upscale restaurant that bore his name. At 37, he owned 15 establishments across the country, each one more successful than the last. But tonight, dressed in casual clothes with a worn jacket and scuffed shoes, he wanted to see what his staff really thought when the boss wasn't watching. The restaurant glowed with warm amber light, bottles of expensive wine lining the walls like jeweled treasures. Robert chose a seat at the bar, deliberately picking the spot where he could observe everything. The kitchen, the dining room, the staff interactions. A young woman approached from behind the bar, her dark hair pulled back neatly, wearing the signature tin apron all his servers wore. She looked to be in her late 20s, with kind eyes and a professional demeanor. "Good evening," she said warmly. "Welcome to Ashton's. I'm Maya. What can I get started for you tonight?" Robert mumbled something about just wanting water, keeping his head down. He'd learned over the years that people revealed their true character when they thought no one important was watching. This was his test, one he conducted periodically at all his restaurants. Maya brought him water in a crystal glass, setting it down carefully. "Are you waiting for someone, or would you like to see a menu?" "Just the water is fine," Robert said quietly, intentionally sounding uncertain, almost apologetic for taking up bar space. He watched Maya throughout the evening. She moved with practiced grace, treating every customer with genuine attention. An elderly couple at a nearby table received extra time as she patiently explained the menu options. A businessman on his phone got discreet service that respected his need for privacy. A family with 2 young children received quick, efficient help with high chairs and crayons. But what caught Robert's attention was how she treated him. Every 20 minutes or so, Maya would pause by his seat. "Can I refresh your water? Are you sure I can't get you something to eat? We have wonderful bread service that's complimentary." Each time, Robert declined, and each time, Maya responded with the same kindness, never making him feel unwelcome despite occupying valuable bar space during prime hours. 2 hours passed. The dinner rush began to slow. Robert noticed Maya glancing at him with what looked like concern. She approached again, this time leaning slightly on the bar, her voice gentle. "Sir, I don't mean to pry, but are you all right? You've been sitting here for quite a while with just water." Robert looked up, meeting her eyes for the first time. "I'm fine. Just needed somewhere to sit for a bit." Maya studied him carefully, and Robert saw something shift in her expression. Recognition, but not his identity. Rather, she seemed to recognize the situation, or what she thought it was. She disappeared into the kitchen and returned a few minutes later with a plate. Grilled salmon, roasted vegetables, and wild rice, one of their signature dishes worth $45. "This order was made incorrectly," Maya said, setting it in front of him. "Kitchen policy says we can't serve it, but it seems a shame to waste perfectly good food. Would you help me out?" Robert stared at the plate, then at Maya. He knew there had been no incorrect order. He'd been watching the kitchen all night. She was lying, and doing it with such grace that she allowed him to keep his dignity. "I can't accept this," Robert said, his voice thick with emotion he couldn't quite hide. Maya smiled gently. "You're not accepting charity. You're helping me solve a problem. Besides, everyone deserves a good meal." Robert looked at her, this young woman who had no idea she was serving the man who signed her paychecks, who would fire her for giving away expensive food. She'd chosen kindness over policy, compassion over profit. "Thank you," he said, the words feeling inadequate. Maya nodded and moved to help other customers, but Robert noticed her glancing his way periodically, making sure he was eating, checking if he needed anything else. As Robert finished the meal, Maya returned. "Can I get you anything else? Coffee? Dessert?" Robert shook his head, then asked quietly, "Why did you do that?" "Give me the food." Maya considered the question carefully. "My father lost his job when I was 16. Proud man, worked construction his whole life. One evening, he sat in a diner for 3 hours with just coffee because he couldn't bear to go home and tell us he'd been let go. The waitress there, an older woman named Betty, she saw through his pride. She brought him dinner and told him the exact same story I told you tonight. She smiled at the memory. Dad said that meal and the kindness behind it gave him strength to keep going. He found work 2 weeks later. Before he passed last year, he told me that Betty's compassion reminded him that dignity isn't found in your bank account, but in how you treat others. So now, when I see someone who might need a bit of grace, I remember Betty and my dad. Robert felt tears sting his eyes. He removed his cap slowly, and Maya's eyes widened as recognition finally dawned. "Mr. Ashton," she breathed, her face going pale. "I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. I'll pay for the meal. I shouldn't have assumed. I'll accept whatever consequences." "Stop," Robert said gently, standing. "Maya, do you know why I come to my restaurants in disguise?" She shook her head, looking frightened, "To see who my people really are when they think no one important is watching. And tonight, you showed me something I've forgotten in all my success." He took her hand, his voice sincere. "You showed me that the most valuable thing we can offer isn't on any menu. It's human decency, compassion, the willingness to see someone's need and respond with kindness, even at personal costs." Robert's voice grew stronger. "You're not in trouble, Maya. You're being promoted. I want you to manage our new location downtown. And I want you to train every staff member in exactly what you did tonight. Seeing people, really seeing them, and choosing kindness." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "But I broke protocol. I gave away expensive food." "You invested in our most important value," Robert corrected. "One I'd lost sight of somewhere between my first restaurant and my 15th. Your father was right about dignity, and Betty was right about compassion. Tonight, you reminded me why I started this business. Not just to serve food, but to serve people." He paused and asked, "What were the 2 words you said that made me realize I'd found something special when you brought me the plate?" Maya thought back. "Everyone deserves?" Robert nodded, his throat tight. "Everyone deserves." 2 simple words that contain everything that matters. Thank you for reminding me. That night changed everything. Maya became not just a manager, but a partner in reshaping the culture of all Robert's restaurants. They created a program called Betty's Table in honor of the waitress who'd shown kindness to Maya's father, setting aside meals each night for those who needed them. And Robert never forgot that sometimes the greatest wisdom comes not from boardrooms or business schools, but from people brave enough to act with compassion when no one is watching, who understand that true success is measured not in profits, but in the grace we extend to others.